This is the Padua Podcast Network.
So, thank God there are gummies available for vitamin D3. Running a Fever, episode 243, Annual Physical 2020. Welcome to Running a Fever. My name is Michael Davis. This is a podcast about fitness, diet, and medicine. The goal is to live a long, healthy, happy, active life, right up to the very end. That's what I want to do with my life. If you can dig it, then come on along, we'll get there together. Well, yeah, it's a beautiful moonlit morning, early morning here at Lake Fayetteville. Cruise along, I like the cool weather. It's a lot easier to breathe. It's just more comfortable, especially once you get going. Wasn't cool enough to shiver when I got started. And now it's feeling quite nice. Well, an annual physical is essential to optimal health management. If you're fortunate enough to not have any medical problems throughout the year or any chronic disorders that need to be managed, it at least gives you one meeting with your doctor in which you can ask him any of those nagging questions you have. He might also have some good ones for you. This time, for some reason, my doc asked me if I had any skin rashes. I'm not sure why. But anyway, you never know what they're going to ask, these docs. So last year, I asked about optional tests, and those are ones that you wouldn't normally get by default, and frankly usually not covered by insurance, so you have to pay extra for them. This year I had usual tests plus testosterone, vitamin D, fasting insulin, B12, and some others. The fasting insulin, that I need to go back to the inflammation episode and check with that again. It just kind of rings a bell somewhere in my mind of what that would be used for, but he said I might have some insulin resistance. I got the results a couple of weeks later, and they called me on the phone. They want to call you on the phone to tell you everything's okay, but of course I didn't pick up everything she said, and I wanted a written record of it anyway, so they sent me the report. Of course, my doctor is a doctor, and so his handwriting was completely illegible, but this episode will serve to the best of my memory as a record of my physical results. So it wasn't just the usual. He had some recommendations. That's a 5 mile point, and I'm going to go ahead and turn around. Only doing 3 miles today. So heading back. So yeah, he had some recommendations for me this time. Didn't just say, oh yeah, everything's fine, go about your merry way. My diet has quite changed a bit since last year. I haven't been doing any resistance training, so I haven't had all those supplements, the casein at night, probably 40 grams of protein before and after workouts and all that stuff. Plus, I've been doing some not so smart things like not taking my vitamins, etc. But I still was surprised to find that I was protein deficient, because I do eat meat just about every day. And by meat, I mean turkey, or chicken, or something like that. I haven't been eating as much chicken since my grill died. I could bake chicken, of course. I have had it fried a couple of times, which is not that great, even though it was in peanut oil. It's a little better for you than straight vegetable oil or fat, animal fat. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that I was protein deficient, is what he said. Now this may have something to do, new to me, on my physical, and that is insulin resistance. For this, he recommended more protein, less carbs, and I should drink more water. And as you heard, I did the right thing today. I don't always do it. I'll be honest, I'm not perfect. Or as my friend Tom likes to say, nobody is 100%. But I did today, and I do keep it on my mind and try to do the right thing. So, actually, he wants me to come back in 3 months and get retested for fasting insulin. And if it doesn't improve, they always threaten, well, you might need medication. I assume there's no torture involved, but another pill does not really float my boat, so to speak. The other new thing was that I'm deficient in vitamin D. Remember that vitamin D is an optional test, so it's a good thing I got it, right? I mean, if I hadn't paid for and requested that additional test, I wouldn't have known. Vitamin D is it's important in a ton of different things. I mean, one of the things is cell health in general. I won't go into that too much, but I probably should do an episode on it since I'm deficient. But yeah, it's a big deal. You'd be surprised. I think I did a general supplement or vitamin episode at one point where I talked about it. And that is episode number 189, that you can find at runningfever.com/189. So I have to take 10,000 units of vitamin D per day. Well, that's D3, which is pretty much the only kind you can get. Now, AARP, I remember from that episode, recommends 600 IU per day. So I'm getting, for seniors, so I'm getting more than 10 times that amount. Seniors are at risk for bone loss. And, so thank God there are gummies available for vitamin D3. I got a big old bottle of gummies. So if I'm willing to spend 75 calories to take 10 of these, I can take them. And the bottle, again, is recommended 2, not 600 units, but 2,000 units, which of course you'd expect from a supplement manufacturer to recommend 3 times the amount. Yeah. So if I'm willing to do that, then it's not so bad. Just means I have to walk another mile. However long it takes to walk off 75 calories. Stars are out. There's enough light of the moon that I can see the haystacks. Can't see the deer that are probably walking around out there somewhere. So that's it. I've got some work to do on my diet mainly, but I'm glad I got those tests. It seems they were worth it. The only other thing that struck me about my physical was that the doc asked me if I had any skin rashes, and I didn't ask why. So that's it. I have a somewhat clean bill of health for another year, and I'm going to try to continue that. Meantime, I'm back to some remedial testing in about 3 months for insulin resistance. So, here's the question. What happened at your annual physical? Did you have an annual physical this year? I highly recommend it. Get a physical, get some recommendations, ask some questions, answer some questions. Honestly, I wouldn't have done it probably during this time where we have to wear masks everywhere. But I had to because I had a medication. But anyway, use your discretion on that, whatever you think is safest to do, but definitely put it on your calendar. And I'd love to hear about how that went, or how your primary care physician is dealing with COVID in the area that you live in. So hit me up, mail@runningfever.com. Thank you very much. If you got the fever, keep it. If you don't, go ahead and catch it. I'll talk to you next time on Running a Fever.